the street alone. Her head was down, face locked onto the phone. And I wished I had a number so I could be color unknown. And then I tell her to look into my eyes and never let it go.
In terms of making it just an outstanding, exciting, high-performance statement as a real car. But again, you know, when you
go on and everything still functions. But this was a '68 we did. We paid tribute to the first Hot Wheels. We also did a Gen 2 over here. And just so you are clear on the gens, the first gen ran from '67 through '69. And you see the drastic styling change we went to in 1970. Over here you see the '70 Gen 2. I'm particularly fond of this one because my very first car was a '70.5 RSSS. It was blue with the white rally stripes, so this one has a lot of sentimental value to me. But our performance team built this for SEMA as well. And if you were at SEMA a couple years ago, you saw both of these on the floor as part of another one we'll talk about on the 6th gen. If you look along the casements here, you'll see a tribute Hot Wheels to each generation. So if you look in the case here, you'll see not only a Gen 2 1970 Hot Wheels car that matches the car that we did for the SEMA show, but you also see in the background a caption of a mural. For our 50th anniversary of Camaro last year, we commissioned some artists to do a mural that represented all 6 generations of Camaro. And if you look at it, it kind of shows what was going on with the designers and engineers at that time of what went into the car. And you see how the 2nd gen was radically different than the 1st gen. So you think about the risk you take with the success of the 1st gen, you know, one of the biggest collector cars of all time. You can imagine the stress they had to take a leap of faith that the 2nd gen was a big departure from that, and was it going to be a success? Well, it turns out it's an awesome vehicle, and you know, collectors today are really starting to scoop up the 2nd gens. So over here is where we started the 3rd gen, and this one here we've actually we're lucky enough to have a customer that loaned us his IROC Z, and I think out of all the Gen 3 Camaros, again you see the styling departure from Gen 2. It kind of goes with the times, what was in the market, what was in the design world at the time. You know, you've got the radical hood scoops on this. Of course, the T-tops, which everybody always asks me when we're going to put T-tops on Camaros, and at the moment I think we'll just leave those in the history of Camaro. But the cool thing about the IROC was rather than have one driver have an advantage over another with a different car design, the International Race of Champions was where the drivers all got the same car, and you just go see who was the better driver. It was a very cool race. Of course, this was back in the time where IROC kind of had a historical significance. Heavy lovers. Yeah. So moving on to Gen 4. This is a special car. This is actually the last car produced in Gen 4 in 2002. These were produced up in St. Therese in northern Canada, and the Camaro went out of production in 2002 after the 2000.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the last production car out of St. Therese. It's been in our GM Heritage Center, and many people thought the car would never come back. The performance car segment was shrinking. People were focusing on minivans and other vehicles at the time, and it was really just a time when the market was drying up, and so we as General Motors chose to go another direction with performance cars. Obviously Corvette stayed around, but we did some other things with performance cars, but the Camaro went away. Very sad day for a lot of Camaro fanatics. Many of you that are Camaro fanatics wrote, called, and got a hold of anybody that you knew of us that worked on the Camaro and begged us to bring it back. And lo and behold, 8 years later, at the 2006 North American International Auto Show in Detroit, we showed the 5th Gen Camaro, which came out as a 2010 model. This is a 2013. The significance of this is it represents the 5th generation. Being gone 8 years developed such a passion that we had no idea was out there for Camaro fans, Camaro customers. We had what was recorded as the largest reveal at that North American International Auto Show in Detroit for the Camaro reveal. There were grown men crying when they saw the cars come by, and I mean, I had goosebumps standing there. It was really something to behold. We were very lucky if you happened to be there to see that reveal. And actually our CEO, Rick Wagner, was standing up on stage, and I think he felt the passion there and announced at that auto show that we were going to bring it back into production. So the 5th Gen was very successful. Of course, we were Bumblebee, but one of the cool things, and especially related to today, was we got a chance to work with Hot Wheels in 2011, and we did a metallic green one to kind of celebrate the Hot Wheels Camaro relationship. And then in 2012, which you see here, this is a 13 model we did in 2012 calendar year. This was a blue one that we actually did in production that was paying tribute to that blue original one I mentioned to you that was done back at Mattel 50 years earlier. So the fact that Chevrolet has been able to partner with Mattel from working with them on the original Hot Wheels car that came out in '68, the die-cast, and do the 2011 concept car we showed at SEMA in the metallic green, do a production version of the 2013 model here, and then now to be able to have the folks at Mattel and Hot Wheels come to us, Chevrolet, and say that they wanted to partner with the Camaro team and do a celebration of their 50th year in the business and do this beautiful crush orange 6th generation Camaro that you toured with Tom a few minutes ago. It's just, again, the goosebumps are back, and many of us are kids at heart. We're passionate car people, men and women. You know, I had a million Hot Wheels when I was a kid. Most of them, the hoods and doors were destroyed because you used them. That's what they were for. But you got to use your imagination and imagine what your car was doing against your friends' cars. And when you get the ability to use a kid's imagination, it helps when they get older to do things that can change the world. And I really think that our Camaro team, and I really think that the Hot Wheels team here at Mattel has done that. They've been able to change the world by giving kids and then grown-up kids a chance to explore their passion with the automobile. And hopefully there's some young kid out there playing with that crush Hot Wheels Camaro that can be a chief designer or chief engineer someday on a future Camaro. So that's kind of a walkthrough of, you know, there's a lot to be said about 50 years of Camaro and 50 years of Hot Wheels, but I just wanted to give you a brief walkthrough of the different generations of Camaro and that wonderful relationship we've had with the Mattel folks here at Hot Wheels.
Thank you for watching this video. Like, comment and subscribe.